and started grabbing properties of the population. Now, as you can imagine, most of the population they descended upon, of course, was not the northern population, because the northern population was in the north. Now, the capital and all the commercial areas are based in the south, and you know, the industry in Jinja and all those kind of things. So they descended upon the people and grabbed their things. Now, when that happened, a conflict arose between the people and the security forces. A conflict arose. And of course, the security forces, because they had guns and all that kind of thing, they came heavy against the people. Now, that conflict is a major conflict that has a fundamental mark in the politics of Uganda. So there was a dichotomy created between Uganda and those people. Those people are the people who used to come and rob Ugandans and take their things, take their properties. Sometimes even during Amin's time, they took their women, you know. So an enmity was created. So the people who came at night to rob, or during the day to rob your shop or do what, they all looked the same. Because, you know, in Africa, provided you come from a certain region of Africa, we have our telltale signs. We all look, you know, the same. When you come from the West, your nose is different, and, you know, such things. When you come from the North, because the sun is hotter over there, and other factors, you are darker. Okay? This is not a crime. You are darker. That's the truth. So everybody who was robbing was darker. So the people were saying, Abasajja batuli bubi, these men from the north. So this was the problem. So that's why, my young friends from the north, I wanted to explain to you why there is animosity against you, from apparent animosity from people who are not from the north. That's where it came by. But again, it came because of the mistakes of the leaders. And in this case, it was a mistake of Dr. Obote. That is the mistake he did. When he tribalized politics and decided to put some people, irresponsible and indisciplined people, in the forces, who then descended on the people and robbed them. So, when Mr. Museveni formed his fighting group to quote-unquote liberate Uganda, it was not about the liberation of Uganda. Because first of all, you must all know that Mr. Museveni has been having this interest of ruling Uganda since he was a boy. So he was always looking for a chance, okay? So it was not about liberating Uganda. It was about liberating himself, satisfying a personal interest, liberating himself and his family and his friends, okay? That was the whole deal. But they used some excuses. The first excuse they used was that there was stealing of the votes. They said the votes in 1980 had been stolen. That's why Mr. Museveni did not win. Now, let me tell you, by the time Mr. Museveni participated in the election of 1980, he was just a little bit better than the Mabilis. He was the Mabilis of that time. I want you to understand. He was the Mabilis of that time. So for him to come, can you imagine Mabilis making noise that his votes were stolen? Many of you would slap him now. Mabilis making noise that his votes were stolen and that he's going to the bush. You would slap him. So, our Mabilis in 1980, Mr. Museveni, he said he had been robbed and he was going to the bush. And that is the man who made, the Mabilis of that time made the most noise. The man who was clearly robbed, like you see Honorable Chagulanyi now, was Dr. Paul Kawanga Semogere. Dr. Kawanga Semugere did not go to the bush, but Mabirizi. Mabirizi went to the bush. So all he wanted was an excuse to go to the bush. Now, the people he recruited to fight for him, they had their own agendas. But most of them, they were saying, let us fight and beat the Northerners. Let us fight and defeat the Northerners who have been stealing our things, who have been raping us, and who have been doing all sorts of abuse. So Katumba, Mr. Katumba of 1980, Museveni, recruited these people who had a nugu in their hearts to obliterate the north. And that's why you see when they finished to capture Kampala and they went to the north, they caused a lot of havoc. They caused too much havoc. They were even taking iron sheets from the roofs of houses. They were taking doors, they were taking windows. This is what they did in the north. They took windows, they took... Now imagine if a Ugandan army, they have come to liberate Guru. Instead, they are liberating the houses, they are taking the windows, they are taking the doors, they are taking the roofs. Now, isn't that an invasion? So, Mr. Museveni is a tribalist at heart. He allowed that tribal anger to remain there. And when his people arrived in the north, they used that anger against the people. Mr. Museveni is not a good leader. No, he's not a good leader. And he exploits situations. Now, what do good leaders do? When Mr. Kagame, let us do a little examination. Let us today relax from programs of a Mary. This, I like to come with a different perspective so that you relax. I know most of you like the idea of a Mary, and a Chizinga, Abakorea, but I am sorry, for me, I want to bring a different perspective. I also like a Mary. I like a Mary. I like a Chizinga. But I like to also bring a different perspective, which is rich with the analysis and things like that. So that, because today is God's day, it is Sunday. You're supposed to commute with God, be deep. Now let us be deep about the politics. Let us be deep. Relax a little bit from Tankazizo, Bazirese, Emery. Let us relax a little bit. Okay. In Rwanda, when Mr. Kagame went to Rwanda, he had a big problem. He had a big problem because Mr. Kagame is clearly Tutsi. Clearly Tutsi. This is what I told you, that in Africa, depending on where we come from, we look the part. That's how God created our genes. We look the part. Like now, there are some friends of mine in Lira who look like me, but it is difficult for them to really say they are from Lira. It is difficult. I have someone here, a good friend of mine, is from Lira, but he doesn't look the part at all. He's very exotic. So now Mr. Kagame, when he comes up, you see a Tutsi man. This is the Tutsi, this is how they look like. So the man was looking the part and he recruited only those people. Then they went to fight to liberate Rwanda. But the problem was the Hutu, because those people there, they have a very serious problem. The Hutu had massacred a lot of Tutsi. Even before the main genocide, there had always been killing of the Tutsi by the Hutu. So, some soldiers Mr. Kagame's soldiers would liberate an area where they are actually born from. And then they go home and find their people were all killed. And when they are talking to the survivors, they say, you know what? The people who killed your people are over there. What do you do? A young man would go to the other to the other house where the people who killed his people are located and shoot everybody dead. Now, that would be very strong anarchy, very strong disorder. Because if every Tutsi now who was coming to liberate was going to turn their guns onto the people, then we would have a new class of killers. So Mr. Kagame instituted a very, very strong institutional system in the bush. And he said, do not kill, do not revenge. If you revenge, I will kill you. That's why they started, I think, nicknaming him Pirato and all those things, because he was very strict. Now, that is a good leader. In the case of Uganda, Mr. Museveni took his thugs in the north and they started to revenge. And there was no problem about the revenge. In fact, most likely he encouraged the revenge. So with that encouragement, there was a new class of killers and looters. Now, if we go in that kind of politics, we shall never find national unity. Because problems of the country will be cyclic. The other one came, they killed these ones. The other ones also fought back, they killed these ones. Others came, they killed these ones. Now you see, these guys who were saying they are fighting for the whole country, they have now become the new killers. They have become the new killers. They are killing people left and right. They are in the drones, they're everywhere. And unfortunately, when they take other young people who don't come from their region, they take them in jail, they take them in custody. They speak to them, they insult them in Runyankore. Now, this is the tribalism, this is tribalization. Tribalization. The person who is speaking about it like me, I'm not the tribal person. No. Your people who are doing it there are the ones who are tribal and perpetuating tribalism. I think, Enoch, you will agree with me. Because if some people in a drone can take a young man from Gulu and put him in the car and start speaking Runyankore immediately while beating him, what is that? What is that? This is in fact very dangerous. This is very dangerous for the country. Now, this enmity is perpetuated. Now we are going to have a new dispensation where people think that Runyankore are bad. There is a time, and I want to explain to those friends of mine who think that some of us are probably tribal or advancing tribalism. I am myself a Muchiga, all right? And although I was born in Buganda by a Muganda woman, and I don't speak any Ruchiga, when you look at me, you see a Westerner. Now, I was thinking about a situation, and think with me here. I said, okay, if I go home somewhere in Ichengera, and I am walking around, and there is a serious tribal riot, I will be killed. If there is a serious tribal riot, I will be killed. Because those people will not even know that I am the guy who used to speak on live on F. No, they will just kill me. It is only after killing me that they will realize that, oh, this is our man. He was fighting for us. So this is why tribalism is futile. Tribalism is nonsense. It's nonsense. I've given you a very clear example. If we say we are promoting tribalism, we are the ones who will die first. There are many of us who work with other people from other tribes, but we are not tribal. Now, if we start promoting tribalism, we are the ones who will suffer first. You see, this is the issue. So, why again some of us are working for the bridging of nations? Why today am I broadcasting from Gulu? Because we want to create the idea that Uganda is all one. We are all one people. What we are fighting is not tribes. We are fighting bad leadership. And I want all of you, my young people everywhere, to take that message to everybody. You people who are in the South, who grew up with your parents telling you that the people in the North are bad and so on, those things ended long ago. We are now a new dispensation. The people in the North now are young people who did not send their parents to murder you or to rob your things. Please look at them like your brothers. The people from the North are your brothers in the South and sisters. Don't disparage them. And I will apologize to the people in the North because it's very clear. The people in the North are not the tribal ones. No, the people in the South are the ones who at times, more often than not, who discriminate against our brothers and sisters from the North. It is not balanced, no. Of course, there are few people in the North who discriminate, but they are very few. Mostly, it is the people from the South. So the people from the South, you must stop it. We are not fighting amongst each other as tribes. By the way, when you enter that drone, you're going to find a very serious Muganda man torturing you. Very serious Muganda man torturing you. I have been told, we have information, that in many torture centers, there are a lot of Uganda people torturing. So now, are you going to start insulting your own people that they are what? What are you going to say now? What are you going to say? What are you going to tell us? So, we are not fighting. If you focus your energy on tribal things, Banyankole, Abahima, no, please don't focus there. Don't focus there. That is wrong. In fact, I greet my people from Chiruhura. I have people in Chiruhura who are suffering like the people in Gulu. Because you see, poverty and injustice, they don't have a color. Poverty, by the way, is part of the injustice. It is economic injustice. So, social justice and economic justice, they don't have a color. No, they are the same. Poverty is the same poverty in Chiruhura, the same poverty in Gulu, the same poverty in Karamoja. It has no color. So, let us focus on fighting bad leadership, but let us not focus on the people, the nationalities of the people who are perpetuating this problem. There are so many Bahima people who are embarrassed by what is going on. Embarrassed. And I have told you, it is more of a class issue than a tribal issue. The white man came and ensured that the man at the bottom replaces the king through the democratic system. When the man at the bottom became the king, he started to get ideas of behaving and looking like the king. And the problems started. It is more of a problem of copy than a problem of tribes. A class man from Arua is the same class man from Guru, is the same class leader from Lira, is the same class leader from Mbarara. And we lived at a certain time in Uganda with these class people. But most of you, even some of us, didn't see them. but we read about them. You hear about Honorable Bisamunyu from Mbarara or Kabare, I don't know, with his friend Honorable Ochen. Very good friends who used to visit each other on the weekends. You hear of a Honorable Lolem who used to visit another one from West Nile. And life was very good because those people, they were educated all from Budo and Chisubi and Namiryango. And they transcended tribalism. I am one of those last classes of those people because most of my friends who I made them in college in Namiryango. I started to learn how to speak Acholi from Namiryango. I learned how to speak Madi from Namiryango. So while there, I started to see Ugandans from different parts of Uganda in the same way. So Namiryango, Chisubi, Dr. Obote College, they used to bring up students educated in gentility and leadership other than tribal people. These tribal people are, and I have no apologies here. These tribal people, this tribalism we have in Uganda, by political analysis, is a function of copy. And when you look very closely, those leaders who have excelled as most tribal have been most of a copy. Because once they get power, they want to address their economic deprivation and economic problems by power. They use power. They want to swell, okuzimba. They want to swell and show that now they are kings. They are no longer bakopi. This is where the problem emanates from. All their economic inadequacies, all their gentility, leadership inadequacies, they want to address them using political power. That is why for them, power must be accompanied with a gun. Because, you know, the gun, they can compel and make people fear them. For them, it's not about love. It is better to be feared than to be loved. Real Machiavellians. So it is more of a classic problem we have of copy. And let us, as we work for the total liberation of Uganda, which is going to take a while and which is starting soon, be careful of who we are dealing with. You see, a young man started work. He worked very hard. Because in Africa, we have processes where a Mukopi can become a Gentile. I mean, not a Gentile, sorry, a gentry. But through hard work and education, hard work processes, economic emancipation and intellectual emancipation. Let us bring the example of Honorable Kyagulanyi. He was not born in royalty, but he worked very hard and achieved economic emancipation. He took himself to school and achieved intellectual emancipation. Now this man became a gentleman, suitable to lead others. Alinake yekolede. He did something for himself. But be careful of these Wakopi who look at a political power as the tool for them to become something. Those are very dangerous. They are looking at political power as a tool to become something. Those must not be voted at all. But now, Let me turn to the second subject of today. There are those people, our copy, who are leading us and want to stay by force. Because you see, this is the whole idea, wanting to become kings. Because a king is not voted, a king is not selected, is not elected, he's selected. So this is what copy, once they get there, they want to become kings. You can see, they have turned our elections into selections, disregarding all our results, selecting themselves, and wanting to remain there by force so that they can select their children. You see, we are telling these people that they will be resisted. The proper resistance is going to start very soon. These people will be resisted. The good thing is that most of us learned the science of resistance from quasi-resistors. We had someone who came and deceived us about resistance as if he was resisting. Kumbe he was a Mukopi seeking to become a king. And he brought his philosophy and he started teaching us. We got the philosophy. Now we are going to do the true thing. It is very wrong to think that you are the only one who can mobilize peasants against bad leadership. Very wrong. The Ugandans have a saying that awakula nume tewakula emu. I will translate since I'm in Gulu now. When a bull rises in a kraal, chances are another bull will rise from the same kraal. So let nobody deceive themselves. They are 45 million Ugandans, or 42 now, I don't know. And those Ugandans are not docile. The case of Yoweri Museveni is not an isolated incident. The rise of Yoweri Museveni in Uganda as a formidable fighter who fought what he termed injustice was not an isolated incident. I don't want to promise you, like the people of Emeri in Mombasa, Emeri, and Echizinga. I don't want to promise you. But as I said, I also enjoy talk of Emeri and Echizinga. It makes me relax. I relax, you know. When I am so tense and I hear the stories of Emeri, I relax and I start to laugh and I feel good. Now, but the danger in that is making our people docile. Please be careful. Don't make our people docile and make them think that Malaika Gabriel, the angel Gabriel, is going to come from heaven and fall and go to State House and clear so that Chagulani can come. No, Malaika Gabriel is very busy. I don't want you to think like that. Please do not hoodwink our people. When you are doing those programs, leave a certain disclaimer. Put a certain disclaimer. Because if you don't do that, UPE has made our people bricks in the head. It has put bricks there. So if you make it worse by creating false hopes, you are guilty of an offense. I want to give our people hope and say, you can do it yourself. You can do it. Do you know a friend of mine in the 80s? He went to the police station alone and he threw a stone at the police station because he had done his own intelligence that there is only one policeman. So he threw stones at the roof. The policeman came outside to see what is going on. The policeman came with his gun outside. This man was looking at him. You see, there is one instrument which I admire very much, and I have spoken about it sometimes. It is called botida. Botida is the thing. It is even biblical. Syringe. Syringe, you put a stone here and it's a syringe. It throws the stone very powerfully. This friend of mine used a syringe, and hit a stone on the policeman's head here. The policeman fell down with his gun. My friend, I went with him to school. My friend went and grabbed the gun and took it. My friend became a guerrilla. I always joke with him that he was a guerrilla in a one-man army commanded by himself. He used that gun and he did a lot of things during the 1980s. And when he did those things and came back to see what was going on, people were saying, he was the only man. He was the muyekera, he was the commander, he was the one in the bush, he was the one coming to, the journalists coming to see what had happened alone. Then when the war got finished, I said, Kakati, where are you benefiting from? He said, I am benefiting from the idea that the regime was defeated. And that's all. And this man today is a common man, except that he had a very good brain. So he's rich, he has his houses and the cars, he's very good. But apart from me and another guy, we are the only ones who know that this man was a guerrilla leader, one-man army, and he did a lot of things. You can do it. You see, I see pictures. I've seen pictures of drones. People are disappearing in northern Uganda. Many people. And those friends of ours who know how we work, please, because me, I am partly an activist, please send us all the names, every detail of people disappearing in northern Uganda. Because you are not alone. You have friends. We shall deal with those things effectively. Now, if you have time to take a picture of a drone packed and there is a woman and a man standing outside, sincerely, you have time to stone those people. Think about it. Clearly, my young people, think about it. You have time to take a picture of a drone with a man and a woman outside. Your body or you have the same amount of time to syringerize those people. You have the same amount of time. You get it? Thank you. Thank you, Rahmat. You have the same amount of time. If you have time to take a picture of a drone, you have the same amount of time to put nails in wooden planks, put them in the road so that when that drone comes, its tires are punctured. Naimwe Banangi, our people, let me ask you. This, tell me really, because I don't want to indulge in another academic exercise. Is this UPE really, was it so dangerous like that your brains can't move a little bit? Why are you immobilized like robots? Because sincerely you behave like people who are immobilized. Like you have been electrocuted. Like a robot. Take the selfie, come back. You can't think? Guys, what's it with you? Do you still eat Odi in Guru, in Rira? Odi, I used to eat a lot of Odi with the posho and beans, and it was very nice. What is going on with you? Hey, I'm sleeping in the bush. I'm sleeping in the bush. Why don't you organize 3 of your friends to cause havoc on a drone? Sleep in the bush with the purpose of disorganizing the drone. Let me tell you, it's a very, very simple philosophy. The people you are running away from are fearing you more than you fear them. If the drone packs and it is pelted by stones from 3 sides, the drone will run. Those men with their guns will run. 100%. That is simple logic. But stones, the drone will run. This drone going to Gulu, to Lira. Listen, let the drone can stigmatize and cause havoc in some parts of Mpigi, you know, Kayunga, not Kayunga, Mpigi, you know, Busiro, yeah. Really, this drone is causing havoc in northern Uganda. Are you kidding me? Are you guys the real grandchildren of Gipir and Labong? Are you kidding me? You are taking pictures of the drone. Query. Instead of organizing to shower stones on the drone and making planks of wood with nails and putting them in the road so the drone can drive over them and get its whatever punctured and the gas is the pressure is out and those people get out and you shower them with stones. Query. My friends from Nebi taught me how to kill birds with a syringe and I enjoyed that. Kumbe, you guys these days you can't even use that syringe to stone a drone. You guys, are you serious? You are busy saying a Mary, a Chizinga. Really? Quit that nonsense. You guys quit that nonsense. Then the other, some people have the audacity to say, he's talking from America, he's talking from America. You think I didn't grow up in Uganda? Don't I know these things? Haven't I done them? He's talking from America. Okay, you talk from Uganda, you go and try what I have told you and see if it doesn't work. After that, come gibbering that he's talking from America. Bombo clad. How can these men intimidate and immobilize you to the extent that you look like electricity has passed through your whole body and you are immobile? That is a sin. Please do something. Fight for yourselves. It starts with you. As I have said, there are some people who are more brave than you, but in another sense. For them, they will do some things for brave people. But before they do them, do something for yourself. And I am faulting all those comrades of ours who use these small screens to build false hope amongst our people. There are so many humble men and women in America and Britain who talk with, people of authority and responsibility. And what I can tell you, leave those Marys, leave those ships. They are doing their things. Leave them alone, please. Think about your own action. Now I have 131 people listening to me. Somewhere there we started with 200. I know that by the end of the day, this tape would have been watched by about 4,000 people. But if I was talking about a Mary, if I was talking about a Chizinga, yeah, I'm not in those things. I am not in those things. But I am telling you very important issues. Think up your own initiatives. Think up your own initiatives. Then the other people will start from there. Small localized initiatives. The other people will start from there. Ugandans are very creative people, and they are businessmen, and they like money. But if you start a chivozivozi online, chivozivozi, and you capture hundreds of thousands of our people, why shouldn't I say that you are making some, I don't know, business? I don't know. We have very nice people, nice men who come here on these small screens and mobilize our people. And I like them. I salute them. Some of them are also innocent. But I want to tell you, bloggers and all those other people, mulekeewo ka space mugambe abantu nti naye kano ko sikamanyi bulungi. Be frank. Don't take the people to knock the wall. Be frank. But what I can tell you, there are some people who are like Museveni. Those who are like Museveni, they are there. They are very brave. And they are going to resist Museveni. And Museveni will know that he was not born alone in that area. The rest of you, do your things. We said boycott. Have you boycotted? What have you boycotted? Have you seen their businesses? Because they are a class. Have you seen their businesses? What have you done so far? They are a class. They bring their car for you to wash. What have you done so far? Did you put a little salt in the engine? Did you? These are your things. These are your initiatives. Mulwane mweka. Your own initiatives. Make your own initiatives. Forget a Mary. Don't be distracted. I'm very happy today to have been here with you in Gulu. And I will come back. Today it was more relaxed, but I'm going to take probably a few weeks off to relax a little bit and come back with very serious issues. But so far, so good. Thank you so much, my people in Gulu, in Lira, in the whole of northern Uganda. I love you very much.
Anyway.